So, I have a problem. I have an addiction to getting these retro-inspired consoles, and I need to admit that. It's not like I have any reason to get one, even if it was super cheap. I got this for like 33 bucks. I think you can normally get them for 40 bucks. Depends on when like AliExpress does sales and whatnot. But I didn't need to get this because I already have the Retroid Pocket 6, and I have a bunch of other retro consoles you can see up there. There's a Retroid Pocket 4 Pro that I have that can also outperform this. And I spent so much time getting a fixed version of this because it just kind of broke the first version on arrival. I'll go into this more when I eventually make a video on this because it is really neat. I really like it. But there's just something about the whole like classic Game Boy aesthetic of this. I did get the one that's on this box, which is like the original Game Boy looking one. And I figured it'd be nice to, you know, I'd be more prone to throw something cheaper like this in a backpack without any case or anything compared to like this Retroid that I spent upwards of like $250 on. So let's just go in and see what's in here. I took off all the plastic wrap, but I haven't really done anything yet. So this is the unboxing experience. I haven't done one of those for these videos yet. It's just kind of like plastic wrap, I guess. It's good that there's like some foam. You can see like the foam protection on top, but that's pretty much it. I don't know if there really is much to the unboxing experience. You get like a little cable that's probably not the greatest. It probably suffices, but manual. And that's pretty much it, I guess. So let's get all this off to the side. And I also need to wipe the screen because it's a little dusty. I don't know why. But yeah, look at this. It's so cute. It's like a smaller version of the original Game Boy. Obviously, this is like smaller than my hand, so it's pretty small in comparison to the original Game Boy. But it even has like L2, R2 buttons, sticks, so you could play like original PlayStation games. From my understanding, this goes up to like original PlayStation games and not much further. But we'll test that in this video and see what exactly this can do. So far, the D-pad seems actually pretty decent. The face buttons, they're a little stronger, more resistive than I thought they would be, but they seem fine. Buttons feel fine. The sticks are like Joy-Con sticks, so not the greatest, but they'll suffice. And these are like clicky buttons. They don't feel the greatest, but I mean, it's a $30 thing. I think like the fact that everything else feels pretty nice is a pretty good sign. My thought was like playing Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on this anyway, so I don't think that like these not feeling like as satisfying as I would hope, or these being not great, really matters, because really these buttons are all that really matter for those. Let's go ahead and turn this on. I might have to like get my SD card from my Retroid and put it in here so we can actually test games. Hopefully it has a charge and I don't have to actually charge it. Oh, low battery. Okay, so I'm gonna have to charge this and then we will be back. All right, I think I have this charged enough, so let's just turn this on and see what we have. But one thing I wanted to mention before we actually get into it is that I realized that this actually has 2 SD card slots. So this actually does come with an SD card, presumably like the firmware and stuff. And then this is one for extra ROMs, which is pretty neat. I like to see that. So let's just turn this on and see what we have. So you can see it's got like a gamery BATLEXP logo, which I've heard that this is actually like an Anbernic sub-brand, but they haven't really confirmed or denied that themselves. Doesn't really matter as long as it's good. And there we are. It looks like we are in an emulation station environment. And if we like press start, okay, yeah, this is definitely like Batocera, which I used in that one previous video where I was using Raspberry Pi as a console. This is basically the exact same thing, which is nice. It's a familiar interface. I'm curious what this has like loaded onto it, because there's like a lot of consoles showing up. There are actually a lot of games. I thought it was going to be pretty much just bare bones. Lots of preloaded ROMs, which is dubious legality, but I don't really care. Angry Birds for the oh god, this has got to be like one of those bootlegs, huh? Well, now we have to load it and see. Oh wow, guys, it's Angry Birds for the NES. This is definitely not Angry Birds. This is just some game with Angry Birds overlaid over. This actually does showcase the reason why I thought this would be nice over like the Retroid Pocket 6, for instance, which is that the Retroid Pocket 6, it's really nice. I really like it, but it's got a 16:9 display, which means it's better suited to widescreen content. Whereas if you have something that's 4:3, you just get like pillar boxing. You just have black bars on the sides. Even worse for the Game Boy, which has an even more narrow aspect ratio. You just get even bigger black bars on the sides. So that's where something like this comes into play, where you get everything going from edge to edge. It looks really nice. That said, I don't think that Angry Birds NES, very legitimate game, is what I want to try this out with. So let's back out of this. I kind of figured that would work because on my Anbernic RG35XXSP, it's the same kind of button combo. It's nice to see that they're pretty consistent. Well, evidently NES games are working just fine. Let's see what else there is. Oh, there's Legend of Zelda. Wait, under Super Nintendo. What? Is this Link to the Past? Okay, it is Link to the Past. Okay. Well, this is a good test just to see how Super Nintendo works, because realistically, like, most of what I'm going to be playing on this is older consoles, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. So if I can get like a sampling of all these experiences, I think that's going to be a good indicator to see whether I'll like it for these. And out the gate, I mean, it's Linked to the Past, that's for sure. But I'm curious about the D-pad because it felt pretty good, but I'm curious if it's actually going to be good in practice. Because like when I first tried the Steam controller, I was like, oh, this D-pad's decent enough. It's not the best I've tried, but it's fine. But then when I was actually trying to play it recently with Mina the Hollower, I'm like, okay, no, this is still too mushy and not precise enough to really be able to move around. So let's just see how just like moving around is on this. And yeah, out the gate, it feels pretty precise. One test that I've seen is like if you like take the tip and wiggle it around, do you move left and right, and it's not having that issue, but I can also do diagonals just fine without any issue. That's good. And the controls right off the bat are also exactly the same as the Super Nintendo. Everything so far is bound correctly. I don't think there really is much more to be said about the Super Nintendo experience. This looks exactly like I would expect Link to the Past to look. No weirdness. So let's back out of that, and I'll just see how Game Boy Advance games work. Game Boy Color. Do they have a legally acquired version of the Oracle games on here? Oh, they actually do. I don't know why they put these in these weird like number things. Let's just try one of the Oracle games and see how it works. Oh no, right off the bat I can see that it's actually like stretching, kind of like if you played on a Game Boy Advance and put it on wide mode. I might just have to look that up later. I'm sure that's something you can configure in RetroArch, because I would rather play this in its original aspect ratio. And yeah, this once again, this is a game, both Oracle of Ages and Oracle Seasons, I've been intending to actually like play for a long time, and I've just never really gotten more than a teeny bit into, so I need to like actually get back to these games and play them. But I mean, this seems to be running exactly like the little bits I've played of the game before on actual hardware. Yeah, I think we can probably just get out of this and try a GBA game. Yeah, so this game is really good, by the way, and you should play it if you've not. Yeah, once again, this is just running exactly as I'd expect it, minus the weird aspect ratio issues that I think are fixable. This is good so far. So next, I'm going to try an N64 game, because I think that's like starting to push the boundaries of this, but I still think it's doable. Let's just see how Ocarina of Time runs. Dang, okay, that looks pretty good so far, actually. Oh, there's a little bit of stuttering in there, but I mean, overall, this is running at like the standard 20 FPS Ocarina of Time frame rate. Oh, what is going on with this lighting? Why is it so dramatic? That is definitely not how Ocarina of Time is normally. Like, why is his nose so like shaded compared to the rest of him? Overall, though, besides the stutters and the weird lighting, this seems decent enough. Yeah, let's go and just see how the controls are, because I wonder, sometimes like N64 controls get mapped wonkily, and that might be something that has to be changed out of the box. Oh, that's weird. Z is mapped to like the right finger R2. That is not what I'm used to. But yeah, overall this seems playable enough. Like, the lighting's weird, but you can play it. I'd still rather use my Retroid because I think it would be better. But the fact that this even works on a, once again, thing I bought for $30, and even then $40 wouldn't be that bad for this. Not bad at all. So let's see if I can fix that aspect ratio issue, and then I think I'm going to wrap this video up. Alright, so I think I may have figured this out within BATLEXP itself. So if we press select, then we go to advanced system options, we get options for like game aspect ratio. I think square pixel is the one we want, so that each pixel is a square and not stretched out. So let's just go back and see if that fixes the problem right away. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the proper aspect ratio. No weird stretching of the screen. So that's actually easier than I thought. There's a little bit of pillar boxing because the Game Boy's original screen and the Game Boy Color are more square-like, but I'd rather play it like this rather than have it oddly stretched and then it look even more weird. So that is where I was going to end the video originally, but honestly, I wasn't really totally satisfied with the experience. The stock OS is totally fine. I think for most people it's going to be totally fine, but I don't know, it just seemed like things were kind of out of date, specifically the N64 emulator. I mean, you saw the weird shading issues that I'd run into. But another issue that I was running into is that I wanted to scrape box art onto this, because you can just kind of see there's nothing with the SD card that I put in with my ROMs. So I wanted to plug in this Wi-Fi dongle, because this doesn't come with Wi-Fi on board, but I ran into issues there because there's only one scraper option here, and it just wasn't scraping anything. So my suspicions are that this is an old version of what most people suspect is ArcOS, not Batocera, and it's just way too out of date to be able to do anything like scraping. So I want to get a newer version that hopefully has newer emulators, newer scraper options, ones that actually work, and hopefully it's just a better experience. So to do that, we need another computer. So we're busting out the good old dongle book. Now I found this guide on retrohandhelds.gg. I'll link it in the description, but basically this is a guide that gives you many different options that are available for the BATLEXP G350. There's not just DArcOS, which is what I'm going to do. ArcOS is now discontinued, but DArcOS is a continuation of it. There are a few other options here if you decide you like another option. So this DArcOS guide seems pretty straightforward from what I was looking. It looks like you basically just download the images from their GitHub for the G350, extract them, and flash them onto your SD card. And that's pretty much it. You just plug it in afterward and let it unpack, and then you're all set. So I went to their GitHub page as they linked and just downloaded the one specifically for the G350. Here you can see there are a few different ones, but G350 should be the right one. And I think I started downloading them already, and it looks like, yeah, we are all set with those. So now we just need to extract these and put them onto the SD card in this device. Just in case, I'm going to unplug both of these. I don't think it's going to overwrite this one on first startup, but I'd rather not take my chances. Now I need my dongle, as always with this computer. So because these are multi-part 7-zip files, I think I'm just going to extract them directly first. I don't actually remember how you do that. Okay, I think I just need to take this and extract it using the 7-zip command line. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. Seems like it's not complaining, so that's good. And then while that's extracting, we are going to open Etcher, since I think that'll be the easiest. All right. And now that that's extracted, we just need to go into Etcher. Well, first I need to plug in this SD card, and then we flash from File with the G350 image, select Target, and then we flash. All right, and then a little more waiting. Alrighty, and there we go. Now I think we can just remove this and plug it into the console, and then I think we'll be all good to go. Hopefully. Alright, got that plugged in, and here goes nothing. I'm not sure if things are going well or not. Can't really tell it from here, but the screen did turn on. It's just blank. Oh, okay. I think I was giving up too soon. Okay, it's just expanding the file system to fit the whole SD card. Seems like it's restarting now. Oh. Wow, okay. There we go. Looks like we're all set. So let's turn this off and load in the other SD card, and hopefully it works with this and I don't have to format it again and load everything on, because that would be a pain in the butt. Oh. I think I am going to have to reformat this and load new ROMs. Alright, well that was kind of a pain in the ass compared to the stock OS. So with the stock OS, all I had to do with the second SD card was just format it to exFAT, plug it in, and then it automatically set up the folder structure, and I was good to go. With DArcOS, I had to actually go into the options here with a freshly formatted SD card, go to advanced, then switch to secondary SD for ROMs. Now it says main SD, but I'll show some images to show how that looked. Not as much of a pain in the ass as I made it seem from what I just said, but it's should just automatically detect it if I have an exFAT SD card plugged in. But after that, it detected everything. I could have just put everything on the main SD under the easy ROMs folder, but I want to have this to be able to be used in anything else that I have DRCOS installed in the future, possibly. But yeah, now after that, I can see, like if I go to Nintendo 64, for instance, there's all the games that I added. The more important thing is that I want box arts here. So if we go into the settings, well, first I need to get Wi-Fi. So I still have this dongle that I can plug in right here. And then I should be able to go into options. Wi-Fi? Yeah, okay, so whatever the stock OS was a much easier experience than this. Connect to new Wi-Fi connection. Actually, this isn't that bad. I was kind of worried with the with how it was looking, but this is actually fine. Well, it was a little weird, but not the worst. Now, hopefully, I can just go into scrape images and just scrape things. I'm not sure if I need to like make an account with whatever service this is. Let's just try it. Oh, seems like it's working based on that toast in the corner. Guess I'll wait and let that do its thing. All right, now it said refresh update game lists to apply changes. I'm not sure where you do that. Oh, I guess it didn't really matter, honestly, because if I just go back and go in, you can see it's showing screenshots. I think there's probably a way to show that. Well, I'm not too worried about that for now. That's something that I think I'll just have to figure out. The main thing that I'm curious is if the emulators are more up to date in this version. I think that like the older systems are fine. I do want to see if we can do the custom aspect ratio settings like with the stock OS. So we'll try one of the Game Boy games. But then I also want to see if the N64 emulation is more up to snuff, because it definitely was not before. So let's just see how it is by default with like Link's Awakening. Okay, yeah, you can see it's still stretched out. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem like changing the aspect ratios is easy as in the stock OS, because you have to open the RetroArch settings, which from what I've been reading, it's select X. Okay, well, at least that's easy. So I think we need to go back, go to settings, go to video, and then scaling. And then we just need to change aspect ratio. Now I'm assuming that what the stock OS was doing was just basically forwarding this info to RetroArch, so I don't think it's really the worst, but I'm assuming that 1:1 PAR is the pixel aspect ratio, so we're just going to select that. Oh yeah, and there we go, you can immediately see it changed. Okay, now I think we go to the quick menu again, and then overrides. And then I think we can either say content directory overrides if this is all content, or we can just say core overrides for the specific core. I think for all Game Boy games I want this, so I might do this on like a per core basis. So let's save core overrides, and then if we quit out of there and then start the game back up, we should theoretically see. There we go. Okay, now we don't have the stretching, which is good. That's exactly what I want for Game Boy games. And to confirm, do we see the same thing with Oracle? Yep. Sweet. And then confirm further if we go into like an NES game, and we'll just do Zelda 1. There we go. Now that's 4:3 like I would want. So not too bad, actually. Now the final thing that I'm really curious about, because like N64 games worked with the stock OS, but they looked really off. So I'm hopeful that Ocarina of Time looks way less janky. So let's just try that and see if the lighting is good. Okay, no, it still looks a little messed up. So I'm not sure. I'm usually used to using like Mupen 64. I'm not sure if it's just like a specific version of Mupen 64 or something. I don't know, but something's definitely a little off. But I mean, I still think this would be good enough to play Ocarina of Time casually. Obviously, it's not the biggest graphical issue. It's just a slightly weird one. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I think that just the fact that I got this device for 30 bucks, and I was seeing some people say it was going on AliExpress lately for like even 25 bucks. And for that price, that is a freaking steal. Like you can play it all the way up through like PlayStation and N64 games. Yeah, that's really awesome for something small like this. And it's like really solid construction. The controls are really good. The games play really well. It's really easy to load custom firmware, as you saw. If you've been wanting, retro inspired console like this, but all the, flagship offerings are too expensive, then I think this is, you know, a nice way to get your foot in the door. It's pretty easy to set up, no real difficulty doing it. Yeah, definitely highly recommend. One thing I was thinking about this that I may do a video on if I can figure it out is that this supports Portmaster in these tools, which you're supposed to be able to play PC games with this even. I might try that. Let me know in the comments if you are curious about this as well, if I have any games that will work with Portmaster. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are, you know, do all the things YouTubers always tell you to do if you liked it, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover, or, you know, what your thoughts are on this if you ended up getting one or something similar. And with that, I hope you have a good day. Take it easy.